How goes it, everyone? I am the world famous Fat Kid, and we are doing Week 6 recap. So, it was a good one, per se. I mean, couple upsets, couple real close games that had no business being close. I mean, we'll just say I did pretty well this week. A grand old 10-5. 10-5. Another big win. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So we're gonna start with a game that had no business being as close as it was. So you wanted more time on the Chiefs. You know who you are. Here you go. Denver, Kansas City, Thursday night football at Arrowhead. Yeah. 19-8. 19 from the Chiefs offense against the Broncos defense. Okay. So, starting the game, Javonte Williams looked good. He had a burst. He was taking on tacklers. He looked good. And in case you didn't know, Russell Wilson apparently not very good. And I've said this for the last couple years. The Chiefs fans that actually know me will attest to this. Travis Kelce is the passing offense for the Chiefs. It goes through him. He is the only one. When they had Tyreek Hill, of course it was Hill and Kelce. Kelce is the only one you have to worry about in the pass game. Okay, I was just checking, making sure nobody argued with me. So, KC was up at 13. They were up 13-0 at half. Okay, that looked about normal. You'd expect a lot more out of that offense. And they get a total of 6 points in the second half. I mean, look, Denver, the losses on the offense, 100% in this game. They did absolutely nothing. Russ Wilson only had 95 yards. 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Not good at all. And you flip it to Mahomes, 306 yards, touchdown, interception. 1 touchdown and a pick? That's weird. Very weird. By the way, 162 yards in the first half. 109 of those to Travis Kelce, who finished with 124 yards. Just saying. The Chiefs are struggling, which you may scratch your head, but they're 5-1. Look at it this way: 5-1. They've played 2 playoff caliber teams. Detroit lost by 1, and Jacksonville won by 8. Last year in the playoffs, they beat that same Jacksonville team by 2 touchdowns without Calvin Ridley. Now, that could be an argument for, against, whatever. The Jaguars, it was also early in the season, they weren't playing as well. The defense has picked it up, the offense is still but we're not talking about them. The Chiefs have played the Jets, the Broncos, and the Bears. They absolutely demolished the Bears. Fine. You get that one. Whoop. They did what they were supposed to do. But the Jets, a terrible offense, stayed in the game the entire time. The Vikings stayed in the game without Justin Jefferson late. Both of those one-score games. They won, yeah, but those are games that they should be winning by double digit plus. 2 touchdown even. Like, yes, they're 5-1. They're a really good team, but they are struggling right now, which is kind of scary, and everybody knows that. Once they get it rolling, I don't want to finish that sentence. So we're not. We're going to move on. Of course, I picked the Chiefs. Who wouldn't against Denver? They're like 75-0 against them. That didn't feel good. All right, let's move to the first Sunday game. International, Baltimore, Tennessee. This was ugly. Ugly. Just the Baltimore offense. Just anemic. They look bad. They cannot get into anything. And then finally, running back one, Lamar Jackson, finally starts throwing the ball. He gets a few passes off on this drive, the opening drive. They stall in the red zone. Justin Tucker field goal. Bing! We'll do a little counter. I'm not going to do that. And then Tennessee just cannot move the ball. Penalties, they cannot move the ball. Tannehill, I was a proponent for Tannehill. I said he's a decent quarterback. He's a good quarterback. Anybody that I told that to, he's not this year. So you can come yell at me now, but it might not matter. He's hurt. I don't care about his status, honestly. He's not very good. So, Ravens just keep running the ball with Lamar Jackson. Even though he threw very well this game. And they couldn't do anything about it. Justin Tucker, 6 field goals. Insane. 6 field goals. 41, 28, 23, 29, 20, 36. 3 of those 29s, those are in the red zone. The 36, that's in the red zone. That is 4 red zone trips that end up in field goals. I'm sorry, 5. That is a bad offense. They are struggling hard. Good thing they got a good defense. Although they balled up Derrick Henry for a little while, and then he just busted free with, what was it, 64 yard? Yeah. 64 yard. Just, Derrick Henry's good, and he had to carry the team, fell short. I mean, Baltimore's got to get it figured out. Luckily, they have a good defense, and they've played some soft teams. But Baltimore gets the win. I picked Baltimore. We'll move on to, honestly, a pretty good game. Washington and Atlanta. I mean, it started out Atlanta, hit the ground running, stopped them on, I believe, their first 2 drives, and scored a touchdown on one of theirs. Atlanta looked good, but Sam Howell, not very many yards, only 151, but 3 touchdowns. That's pretty good. No turnovers. And no running game, honestly. 72 total yards between like 4 different people. No, that was not good. Let's see here. Washington went up late, and Atlanta tried to make a comeback. But Ritter, with his 3rd pick of the game, in the end zone. I mean, if you're an Atlanta fan, he's got to be frustrating because he looks like he's got promise, and then he does junk like that. Like, he ate 307 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's great. 3 picks. Not so good. And for some odd reason, Washington wasn't covering London, 9 catches, 125 yards. You might want to stop him. Yeah, but this was a pretty good game. I chose Washington. We are starting out 3-0. Now, this is where it went south. A terrible game. Terrible game. Minnesota, Chicago. Like, nobody expected this to be a good game. It was close. But, I mean, neither team could move the ball in the first half. The first half ended 6-6. Like, I'm skipping to halftime because Justin Fields threw an interception in the first half. There was nothing going on. Second half, it started to get a little crazy. Well, I guess late first half, Minnesota scored to go up 12-6 because they got their extra point blocked. That's fun. But there really was nothing going on. And then Chicago scored a touchdown, took the lead. Fields got knocked out of the game on a strip sack, dislocated his thumb. Jordan Hicks ran it back 42 yards, scoop and score. Minnesota took the lead, never gave it back. Like, or was it the interception? It doesn't matter. Bears lost. Bears are terrible, and they're going to be even worse without Fields. It's the Bears. Nobody cares. I picked the Bears, thinking they were going to just dominate this Minnesota defense. Ugh. It was such a boring game. Anyway, I got that one wrong. Boo-hoo. Sad me. Then we go to Seattle, Cincinnati. Seahawks, Bengals. This was not a good game. Again. Like, Seattle and Cincy traded opening drive touchdowns. Like, awesome. Burrow looked good on the next couple drives. Great. It went to half 14-10. Cool. They're scoring. Second half, a field goal apiece. That's it. It was like these. I don't know. This week was weird. There was a lot of gross games and low stats to the winning quarterback. Like Howell, 151 passing yards, but he won. Well, the team won. Burrow, 185 yards, but they won. No running back over 40 yards for the Bengals. I don't know. I guess ball control. If you know, tell me. Tell me down there, because I have no idea. It was an ugly game, not very exciting. Bengals win 17-13. I picked the Bengals. They were not the dominant air raid style team that I thought they were going to be. Is that because Seattle's better defensively? I don't know. But we're going to go to the first big upset. I think you guys all know what I'm talking about. 49ers Browns. I did not expect this whatsoever. I figured the Browns have a really good defense. I thought they would slow down the offense, not stifle it for 40 minutes. Like, it was insane. Every time I was looking, oh, there's a punt. Oh, there's a punt. Oh, there's a 1 yard gain on 3rd and 7. Like, I don't know what happened to this juggernaut. Did they overlook Cleveland? Did the scuffle before the game impact the Niners? I don't know. But it was crazy to watch. That's to say the least. Like they came out swinging. They scored, I believe, on their opening drive a touchdown. But Cleveland clamped down. They went 10-7 at half. San Francisco was leading by 3. And then I don't know. It was just weird. Cleveland they didn't really have anybody. I mean, Jerome Ford, I believe it's Jerome, 17 carries, 84 yards. That's pretty good. You get a running back that can keep the ball moving, that works out for you. Kareem Hunt, 12 carries, 47 yards, got a touchdown. That right there. 131 yards combined, pretty good. Cooper, 108 yards out of P.J. Walker's 192 yards. I don't get that, but all right. It was just the defense. The Browns' defense is, I wouldn't say underrated because a lot of people are looking at them. It's just that offense takes a lot of the shine off. They did enough this week, beating the juggernaut of the NFL. Although, with 9 seconds left, Moody, field goal range, 41 yards, kick is up. Oh, pushed it right. No good. Oh, heartbreak. That's a terrible way to go, but it is what it is. Brock Purdy's first loss, and he threw his first interception of the season. The biggest thing is McCaffrey. Don't know how long he's going to be out, but he went out early in the fourth quarter. That may have changed the game. I don't know. Can't say. We got what we got. I, of course, chose the 49ers and got it wrong. So then we go to, I believe I said this game, I would not be surprised if Houston beats the Saints. But I picked the Saints anyway. And what happened? Texans beat the Saints. Of course. I mean, that's right. That crazy play where C.J. Stroud threw an interception. I believe it was a linebacker for the Saints. Running down, gets hit, fumbles the ball, and the Texans fall on it. So it ended up being like an 8-9 yard gain on a turnover. Weird. But after that, Stroud played pretty well. No other turnovers. 2 touchdowns. Only 199 yards. Again, one of those, I don't want to say low, but sub 200s on the low end, we'll say. What I found weird looking at the stats, Devin Singletary got just as many touches as Dameon Pierce. I thought Pierce was supposed to be the guy down there. Maybe something to look at. Maybe I'm just making stuff up. I don't know. It looks like Dalton Schultz is coming in comfortably down in Houston. 4 catches, 61 yards, touchdown. I believe that's back-to-back games he's got a touchdown. Looks pretty good. And we got a Robert Woods sighting. He was huge a couple years ago. 3, 4, whatever. Then he disappeared when he went to the Titans. And I didn't even know he was in Houston. But he got a touchdown. Weird. Derek Carr, 50 pass attempts. 50 pass attempts. 353 yards, touchdown, and a pick. Now, I will say this. 10 targets for Olave, 7 catches. He is not used as much or as well as he should be. He is really freaking good. Just saying. Let's see. Yeah, 30 seconds left. They had a chance to tie it. Or, yeah, they had a chance to score a touchdown, potentially tie it. And 24 yards out, Carr throws a pick. Unfortunately, that's been a thing for him. Anyway, I picked the Saints. I was wrong. Houston, the Young Guns. They win again. Let's look into my crystal ball and see. Oh, they're on a bye week next week. Never mind. Houston's on a bye. Don't worry about it. Let's see here. We go Indy Jacksonville. Holy buckets. This was crazy because Jacksonville jumped on them. Went up to a big lead. I mean, they they went up pretty big at half. 21-6. Like ETN, not a huge game. Only 83 total yards, but 2 touchdowns. Big touchdowns to put them up big late. But then Indy started coming back. Now, was that because Jacksonville was in the prevent defense or we're up big, so we're just going to do soft coverage? Probably. But they did enough to keep them out. Minshew, first time he's had multiple interceptions in a game in his career, I believe is what I heard. Either way, he went 329, a touchdown, 3 picks. That's not very good. But he's going to be the guy because it seems Anthony Richardson, is out for the season because he's going to have surgery on his shoulder. I'm sorry if you're a Colts fan because he is promising. He just could not protect himself while running the ball. Go figure. So then we'll move on to the Panthers-Dolphins, which this game started out crazy. I was stunned because Carolina jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Adam Thielen looked really good. Bryce Young hitting him. But then Miami decides, we're actually a good football team. We need to stop this. They haven't won yet. We can't give them that win. And then they just mowed them down. They essentially went... They gave up the 2 touchdowns, scored 3 themselves. And then in the second half, they went 21-7. Raheem Mostert just owned that game. I mean, 115 yards on the ground, 17 yards in the receiving, but 3 total touchdowns. Mostert, crushed it. Good thing I have him in my family league. But, Tua, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns. Of course, Tyreek Hill, 6 catches, 163 yards, touchdown. He went out for a little bit. I think hamstring tight. Doesn't matter. He came back in. He played the rest of the game. It was no big issue. Miami wins 42-21. Of course, I took Miami over Carolina. Nobody's surprised. And now we go to another sloppy game. And we're going to Vegas. Patriots, Raiders. Raiders win 21-17. First time the Raiders have gone over 20 points. And it took the defense to do it. If you don't know how, wait till you hear this one. So, to open the game, Jimmy Glass throws a hospital pass to Davante Adams, bobbles it a little bit, and he gets smoked. He gets popped up into the air, interception. Cool, we're off and running. But because it's the Patriots, they're a terrible offense. They're a terrible team. Could not move the ball till about third quarter when they started running. And if you run against the Raiders, you're going to have success because they got their first touchdown in 3 weeks, I believe it was. Good job, guys. And they got 2 rushing touchdowns. Anyway, Jimmy Glass got hurt, of course, and Brian Hoyer came in. I'm just glad he didn't crap the bed. Whatever. Raiders are still terrible because of Josh McDaniels. But 19-17, Raiders pin the Patriots into their own 5-yard line. I think they were at the 2, maybe the 3. And Max Crosby and Belial Nichols rush Mac Jones. They meet at the quarterback, drop him for a safety to go up 21-17, get the free kick to go into victory formation. This was a game that should not have been close. Should not have. Because the Patriots are that bad. But it just shows how bad the Raiders are. But I picked them. So there's that. Then we move on to Detroit, Tampa Bay. I picked Detroit. Detroit won. They controlled the game. There's no two ways about it. 20-6. Like, Goff looks pretty good. 353 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Bucs. The Bucs were looking pretty good defensively. But St. Brown, 124 yards and a touchdown. I believe he was coming back from an injury too. So the only problem is Detroit lost David Montgomery. Not sure for how long. They lost him for the game at least. That's why no running back had over 15 rushing yards. They did not have a run game without him. Yeah, that's not good. But hopefully he doesn't miss any time because he is big for Detroit. All right, we got Rams, Cardinals. It started out good. Arizona moving the ball, not punching in those touchdowns, but they had a 9-6 lead at the half. But then the Rams just said, nah, we're good. Kupp gets his first touchdown of the year early in the third quarter. They go up 13-9. And again, the Cardinals just disappear in the second half, mainly the fourth quarter. I don't know what's going on with them. They were playing the first few weeks really tight. They were in games. And the last couple weeks they've just floated away in the wind. I guess these are the Cardinals that we thought they were. Yeah. Kyren Williams, 20 carries, 158 yards, touchdown. But apparently he sprained his ankle late in the game, and he has already been ruled out. So, in case you're a fantasy player and you have him, heads up. Cooper Kupp, 7 catches, 148 yards, touchdown. The man's good. We all know this. Moving on to our second big upset, the Eagles and the Jets. Now, I picked the Eagles, and again, I've said this. The Eagles start slow. They took forever. Their opening drive, 19 plays. Fumble at the goal line, recovered, whatever. It got reviewed. It ended up being a touchdown. But 19 plays. It took so long. And I guess they used all their energy on that drive because they mustered nothing else after. Philly went up 14-9. They got outscored in the second half 11-0. I don't know. Hurts with 3 interceptions. He looks fantastic one week and then just craps himself the next. I don't know. Philly's still the second best team in the NFC. Probably second best in the league. Although Detroit's going to argue with that. Doesn't matter. Weird game. Jets end up winning. Yeah. Did not see that coming. But we move on to another one of those sloppy, what the heck happened games. Buffalo and the Giants. Sunday Night Football. 14-9. 14. Buffalo, who's been putting up points against most teams, only 14 against this Giants defense. That's ridiculous. Although the Giants' offensive line played much better, it did not matter. Because Tyrod Taylor did just enough to not win. He didn't do enough to lose. Like, he didn't throw picks or fumbles, but he didn't get it done when he needed to. Barkley, 93 yards. I mean, as long as he's healthy, you know what you're going to get out of him. But the real craziness is Buffalo. Josh Allen, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. 169 yards. That is garbage. Like, Alex Smith averaged more than that in his career per game. That is terrible. But they got the win. I think that's what they care about more. Although near the end of the game, there was some questionable calls. Pass interference in the end zone. And then on the ensuing untimed down, you could say that there was pass interference on Darren Waller again. But the refs let him play. Incomplete pass. Giants end up losing. It should not have been this close, but I guess you take the win where you can, right? Anyway, chalk that one up. And then we got Monday Night Football. Dallas and the Chargers in Los Angeles. Sorry, it just sounded like they were in Dallas because Chargers can't fill a stadium. Chargers fans, I mean, are there any? Let's see here. I mean, the Chargers look good to start. They came out swinging. They scored a touchdown. They stopped the Cowboys. I mean, I believe in the first 2 drives they gave up a field goal. That's not bad. Khalil Mack got another sack. He's having a pretty good stretch. But turnovers, penalties, just mistakes in general, that's the name of the game. Because that's what made the Chargers lose. I mean, 10-7 at half. And again, it's a 10-10 in the second half. The Chargers, I got to give them credit. They kept Micah Parsons in check. They kept that entire front line in check until it mattered. Under 2 minutes with the game left to go, or you're down 3, and he gets his sack. He gets his first sack of the game. Following play, Herbert throws a pick to end it. Justin Herbert, big numbers, big stats, cannot get it done. He is not the guy. He'll get you some wins, but he's also not going to be able to get you some wins late. If you are trailing, he's not the guy. Sorry, Chargers fans, all 3 of you in America. But I thought the Chargers were going to come out refreshed, ready to go. Austin Eckler just came back after the bye week. I picked them thinking Dallas was going to start their 2-3 game slide. I was wrong. Boo. But there you go. We went a big 10-5. Here, we'll show it again. 10-5, which brings me to a total of 55-38 on the year. I had a typo last week because I had it at 45-34. I miscounted. It's actually only 33 that I had losses. Oh well. it is what it is. We got a big gap. We're winning. That's all that matters. But there you go. We got week 6 in the books. Week 7's coming up. So until next time, have a great one, and I hope to see you in the next video.